Hey y'all, hey, it's me. I'm coming back to share a little bit more with y'all about my journey on space and grace. So welcome to another vlog post of yours truly, Latasia Wright. Today I'm going to talk a little bit about depression. And I'm going to try to make this more condensed and a little bit more candid and just speak to you. This week it kind of came to me. I was talking to one of my friends and we were just discussing different things, and it came up like how the previous week had been kind of like tough for me, feeling a little bit down, battling off depression. But in the moment, I just started talking about like how much of a difference it was from last year to this year. So the difference of having depression with and then without Jesus. And I want to more so specifically say with the word, because you can believe in God and still not be pursuing him daily, believing in Jesus Christ, but not leaning into what he has to offer for you. And his word is our two-edged sword to fight our battles. And sometimes when we're facing depression, we're in a spiritual battle more than anything else, and we need our weapons of prayer and the word and just God on our side. And so as I just spoke about it, I just realized like last year was such a tough year for me, where I felt God pressing and pulling on me, but I also felt very discouraged. I felt defeated. I felt familiar feelings coming up post motherhood, of feeling trapped, feeling out of control, loss of my body, my time. And that all kind of sends you in a place of mourning, so to speak. Like I just want my freedom back. I just want to be happy where I am, but for some reason I'm not. And it took me down a spiral of a dark hole, I will say, because just one thing after another would pile on some type of defeatist feeling, defeatist, contribute to a defeatist attitude, feeling a lack of control, and just not being well balanced in my spirit. And I always use the analogy of this hole. I just kept falling in deeper and deeper. And as things happen, because life is going to happen, challenges up and down, things seem to keep coming my way. In my home, outside my home, with work, with myself personally, that just got me to a place of like feeling defeated and discouraged again. But last year, it's just like I couldn't come out of it. I prayed, I got up every morning, thank God. I prayed at night. I would do devotions here and there, but I wasn't really reading the word, seeking God, and taking time to pause in his presence to hear direction. It was just like, God, please save me, going on with my day. Not God, what's going on? Until I start feeling this whole, I'm still spiraling. Something's not right. I think you're communicating something to me. I'm not sure what it is. Me still wrestling with my flesh. It came to a moment where I just felt so exhausted and tired, and I wanted a break, and I wanted to escape. And I took pills, and I was just like, if I don't wake up, so be it. If I do, I'll go on and live tomorrow. Now, I told that whole story before. If you hadn't heard it, it's on my Facebook page. If you don't follow me, if I get people interested in it, I'll try to repost it or maybe retell it later. But the purpose of this story, I got to that very defeatist point. And the thing that I said to my friend, it literally took the wrong song that came on my way home, and I had probably about 4 or 5 margaritas, and I think I had like 4 margaritas and went home and fixed another drink. That just took me into this place where I thought it'd be better if I just wasn't here anymore. I just can't do it anymore. It's just easier to not be here. And so that was that. And I don't think I was covered. I don't think I was protected. I don't think I was praying. I don't think I was getting enough of a release or taking care of myself. But most importantly, I wasn't leaning into God to pull me up. Now this year, it's been a tough year. 2020 has been a tough year for everyone, or a lot of people. I know some people may be living their best life and experiencing great things, which I've been experiencing some great things too, but it's overall been a challenging year for me and my family. And so last week was that kind of week of like a breaking point. Like, how much more can I take? I don't know if I can take anymore. I just don't want to do this. I kind of want to give up, get into that point, because last year I didn't want to get up to bed a lot of days, but I got up and did what I had to do because I had responsibility. It got to that point where I kind of don't want to get up, but I would get out of bed. And the major difference that I felt this time is a thought would come into my head, but there'll be 3 or 4 of the thoughts that counteracted that thought. Like, I just don't know. I just don't know if I can do this. I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me. everything works together for the good of those who love the Lord. Like literally those thoughts would come into my head. I feel so defeated. I haven't accomplished anything that I wanted to accomplish. I don't know where I'm going. His ways are not our ways. Lean not on your own understanding. Man plans his step, God directs his path. Those things gave me a little pep in my spirit, and there was only so low I can go, and there was still somewhat of a joy where I felt like maybe days I wanted to have a pity party, and I would lay down. I'm like, well, I got things to do. I need to read. I have committed to pray every single day and journal every day and at least get in the Father's presence and just pray and sometimes just listen to music. Those things kept me fed, and there's no way to really explain the exactly how it felt, but that hole that I was talking about, I couldn't go down that hole. I would feel myself like, oh no, there's that hole coming up again. I can't slip down it anymore, or I'll be back in that same place. But nothing kept me there. Nothing got me back to that low spot. And that was the Holy Spirit. It was the Holy Spirit. It was God. It's because I'm feeding on the word. I am more encouraged. And I don't pick myself back up. God picks me up. And by his grace and his mercy, I get up every day and I get to see his good and his mercy and his love in this world and in my life, that it kept me going. So I kind of want to come on here and just share the difference of like I've experienced, and everyone's walk is their own walk, so I don't want to discount anyone else's, but I have experienced depression in my life, and it mainly came after I had my kids, around postpartum, and it kind of just spiraled from other things in my life. And without really leaning into God and having that relationship and daily intimacy with God, the enemy came in and attacked me and made me think that it would be better for me not to be here. And I want to take a moment and pause and just address that thought, because I think there has been very damaging thoughts in the church and in Christianity that everything is a demon. If you're depressed, you're not doing the right things in God. No, that is absolutely not true. But I also think as we become more involved in that thinking and learn more about mental health, we have leaned towards the fact of forgetting the influence of demonic spirits. The enemy does speak to your mind. So we can't discount either one, but each individual case has to be examined for whether it's demonically influenced, or just mental health and physical attributes, or a combination of all of the above. And I truly believe, because I have never had that thought before in my life. I've never had that mental health struggle of not wanting to be here or commit suicide. And at a weak moment, the enemy was able to get to me and speak to me and play on my mind that I went to that place, and it just tunneled down there. And so from there, if you ask how do I know that, I think it's my actions can explain that I'm not suicidal. But even on top of that, because I do believe in being healthy physically, I went to a therapist, and a therapist confirmed me. She wasn't a Christian therapist. She was just a regular therapist. I told her what was going on. She asked me her professional questions, and she's like, I don't want to discredit or tell you that it wasn't a big deal, but she said out of her own words, you're not suicidal. You had a moment where you needed a break and you're tired. And so we need to deal with your daily life and how you're living, and why aren't you caring for yourself? And I think you won't have that issue again. And so I went to therapy. I pray to God. I trust in him. I think he led me to go to therapy and talk and uncover things. And then even this year, having some of these like I'm too tired thought would make me kind of think, oh Lord, I hope I'm not going back to that place. And talking to my spiritual mentor that is a Christian, she believes in led by the Holy Spirit. She asked me, what keeps leading you to those thoughts? Why is that giant able to chase you or get to your mind? And so that takes some time for self-reflection. Those are things you can do in the physical. There's things that you can pray about and say, hey, God, like, what am I not seeing? And God reveals yourself to you. God helps bring things to the surface, and then he gives you direction on how to help and who to reach out to, or sends people into your life. And I realized one of my things, the loss of control. I've lost a lot of control of my life. I'm walking by faith, not by sight. And although I know this consciously, sometimes in my subconscious and in my flesh, I just want that control back, and that makes me feel defeated, and it takes me down the wrong path of thought. So now that I'm aware of that, I will be aware. Mind your thoughts. Philippians 4:8. I don't know it by heart, but focus on basically the good things, things that are honest, things that are true, things that are just, things that are lovely, things that are good rapport, noble, and of good virtue, and praiseworthy. Watch your mind. Watch what's in your mind. You know what I mean? Because those thoughts can lead you to the wrong places. And now that I'm aware, okay, if you're thinking about your control and thinking about letting God lead your life on complete faith, they both can't coexist. There's a Bible verse about double-mindedness, which was brought to me. And so I had to realize that was my place of where I opened myself up for an attack, for the enemy to speak to me and send me down a rabbit hole. So I just wanted to address that for a moment. You know, just because you're depressed doesn't mean you're a demon or you're not a good enough Christian, but don't discredit the enemy's effect on your mind, especially when we open up the gate for him to help place things in our mind. We go down farther. I think it starts with one thought for me and I go down the spiral, but you have to almost consciously speak back to those thoughts. Now, if you find yourself in a place where you can't come out of that hole, go to therapy. I went to therapy, but I think life gets a lot easier and able to maintain and walk through storms with God versus without God. When I'm reading my word, it is encouraging. It is encouraging. Even if I read it, sometimes I'm like, that don't really apply to me right now. I don't know if I could really be that patient. And in the moment of actually walking out a challenge or facing a demon or facing something challenging, the word is there and it is bleeding out of my heart and into my mind and helping me stay in a place where God is keeping me and covering me. So I thought I would just say that because, I mean, I'm pretty sure a lot of people are facing depression and it's nothing to be taken lightly. But I do think it can be so much better with God. I hope you have a team of people or a community, a tribe that is with you that can help you, point you in the right direction, give you good advice. The biggest thing I can give in advice in your own physical ability, don't isolate yourself. Even if you don't have the words to say what you need, get around people. Let them feed into you, especially the people that love you and going to build you up. They'll notice when you're acting different and they'll ask you, okay? And try to get the courage to get up and get the courage to be honest and say, I'm not okay. So if anybody's watching this that is battling depression, there's hope, and it's in Jesus Christ, and he will lead you to help. And prayer helps so much, but prayer does not have to be your only tool. There can be a therapist, there could be a friend, there could be a church mentor. Don't do it alone. Pray for God to send you the person. Don't try to handle this weight on your own. And I just wanted to share my experience of actually trying to just climb out of a hole that just kept pulling me back down versus leaving it at God's feet and say, I don't know what to do. Can you help me? I'm praying to you. Reveal. Help me with my mood. Like some days it's just help me with my mood. I feel really defeated. I know this is not of you. I know this is not where you want me to be. I know this may be a storm for right now. Like I actually said those prayers and had that type of conversation with God. So I hope this helped somebody or at least felt relatable. And if you ever need to reach out, or if you want to reach out with questions, my door is always open. Message me, comment, email, private message me, DM me on social media. But I hope you always have one take. I'm not editing, guys. But I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you have a wonderful day or night. Talk to you soon.